Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble the Morning Glory block, which is one of the blocks in the Wild Flowers quilt pattern. There are actually two videos. This is the same introduction for both of them, just to let you know. One is showing you how to assemble all of the pieces if you have a light box, and the other one shows you how to do it if you don't have a light box. It's very, very similar, but there are a couple of different, the order in which you lay down the pieces is going to be a little different, and some of the prep work that you want to do on the pieces to show you how they go together is also a little bit different. So there are two videos. Make sure you're watching the one that, that you want to be watching. And I also just wanted to talk a little bit before I get into the details of how to put this together. I wanted to talk just a little bit about fabric and about this pattern. So this is one of my super easy patterns, which means it's really, really easy to put together. It's really designed to be easy enough for your very first applique pattern. So if this is your first applique pattern, and you're still a little scared of your sewing machine, this is going to be an easy enough pattern to do. It has mostly very big shapes that are very easy to outline. This one that I'm going to show you the demonstration in the video is actually one of the most difficult blocks to do, and that's why I chose it for the video. I kind of wanted to show you that even one of the most difficult blocks is still very, very easy to do. But let me just show you a couple of other blocks just to give you an idea. So when I say big shapes and easy to outline, this is an example of one of those big, easy to outline blocks. And one of the things that's really fun with this is usually I recommend using tone-on-tone fabrics for all of my applique patterns. It really helps the shapes stand on their own. And I've done that with this pattern, but with these big, big shapes, you can raid your stash and find all of your fun scraps. And this would be a print that you could put a bold polka dot on or a bold stripe. You can really have some fun. It would be fun to do a floral pattern on this and make a flower out of flowers. But it's big, easy to make shapes. And the other thing that's nice with these big, easy shapes is that it's really fun to fussy cut your pieces a little bit, so to be a little careful with your placement. So on this one, I deliberately centered this line down the center of this petal when I used this kind of God's eye fabric, and I made sure to run the stripes, the dotted line stripes on this stem to run parallel with the stem. And on this one, I made sure that these were going across, and I made these lines go across also. So this is just an example of two of the really easy blocks. But I also wanted to point out that once you've got your feet wet on this, there are a lot of different ways that you can play with the pattern and get a little bit more advanced with it. So one of the ways that you can do that is to add to mix and match some of the shapes. So a lot of the flowers in the pattern are these center, we're looking at the flower right from the middle. So these are two of the sideways ones, but this is more typical of what they're going to look like with a center view. And what that allows you to do is to mix and match the pieces from a lot of different blocks. So let me grab a different block. So for example, this one's just got a big solid middle, and I've put a fun bold stripe on that. But if you wanted to instead, you could use the same outside and this middle, but then you could layer on this star in the middle on top of that and this center in the middle of that. I've got another example. This is a three-part block where it's got the outer ring and then an inner, more detailed ring and then the center. This is the other one of the most difficult ones. It's not actually difficult to outline this, it's just a little time-consuming, but these are all straight lines, so it's very easy to turn the corners. This pattern doesn't have any super tight turns. It doesn't have any of the eyes like most of my patterns have. So it's a really, really good one for beginners. But you could take this piece and layer it on top of the star to add some more detail to that one. So you can really play around with the pieces. The other thing is that the pattern has some examples that show you where you can add some double size blocks, like some double height blocks. For example, you can take this Morning Glory pattern and add more vines and make it a taller block. And also you can make some half blocks, and you can do that as an example to break up what is otherwise a very regular square grid, which is a great way to start. But if you're wanting to stretch your skills a little bit, the pattern shows you some ways that you can break up just the square blocks. You can also add sashing, you can add words, and the pattern includes some mock-ups of some different ways that you can lay all of those things out. So just to kind of give you a broad overview before we get started with the details of how to put this block together, I just wanted to show you some of those options. So here's how we make this Morning Glory block. Okay, here's how you make the Morning Glory block. I want to point out a couple of things before I start. I'm going to do two tutorials for this, two demonstrations, one with a light box and one without a light box. And that means marking the pieces in different ways. So on the back of some of the pattern pieces, there is a dotted line. If you're not using the light box, you will want to transfer that dotted line to the front of the fabric side of your piece. And you can do that just by holding it in a window and tracing through it, or on a light box. But you'll want to get those marks. They'll help you with placement. I've just done it with a chalk line. Let me get that closer so you can see. There's just a light chalk line there. So if you, for the video without the light box, that placement line will come into play. For the video with the light box, it'll be irrelevant. There are numbers on the back of all of these pieces, and those are keyed to your placement guide, and you will use those numbers in the lightbox video tutorial, but the numbers are irrelevant for if you're not using a lightbox, although they might help you decide which piece is which. But as far as placement goes, in the video with the light box, they tell you in what order you lay those pieces down. But when you're working without the light box, you lay them down in a different order, and that is what I'm going to show you here. One final thing is, since I'm going to be using the same pieces for all of those tutorials, I'm recording the one without the light box first. And so I'm not going to peel the backing off of the pieces, because I want to be able to use those numbers when I do the later recording with the light box. So you won't see me peeling the backing off, and that might make the pieces just kind of shift around a little bit and tend to bow up because the paper is a little bit curved. But when you peel the paper off, everything lays very flat. So we're going to start out without the light box. And for that, you're going to lay the pieces down. I like to start with the stem because that will help me position everything else. So I'm not going to peel the back off, but I am going to get this stem roughly centered in here. I can shift it. I've got a flower coming off here that is going to go a little bit off to the side, and I have a flower coming off here that's going to go off to the side, but roughly centered like this, not the bottom of the stem, but the entire piece centered is going to work pretty well. Before I start laying some flowers in here, I did want to show you that this is one of the pieces that will be really easy if you want to add some double height blocks to your quilt just to kind of break up that grid. You can easily make your vine go taller than one block. And the way to do that is to alternate. This is the way it's oriented in the pattern, is curving to the right, but you can trace off a mirror image of it and have a piece that curves off to the left. And you'll just want to tuck that piece a little bit behind this piece, and you can keep building your vine taller and taller in that way. So just you can angle it, and then you'll want to, if you wanted to make it even taller, you could make a quilt that's just stripes of these Morning Glories, which would actually be very pretty, and you would just alternate the original orientation with the mirrored orientation with the original orientation and get a vine that has a really nice S-curve all the way up the block. But for this, I'm going to show you just putting it into a square block. So you would lay your stem down first, and then you would start layering in your flower pieces. And this also has a little dotted line at the base of the bud that I've transferred here. I'm not sure if you could see that because it's a fairly light blue. But you'll tuck it in until you cover up that line, and that tells you you've got it tucked far enough back to get a nice clean finish when you fuse it all into place. So put your main part of the trumpet flowers into place, like so. And then we are going to put our darker bits behind, and again, and just tuck it in until that chalk line is covered. And you know then you've got good coverage. And do that, oops, I've got my pieces both together here. Just do that for all of the pieces. And this is one of the most complicated blocks in the quilt. This is really very, very simple layering in this Wildflowers pattern. And there you go. So I would take that over to the ironing board and fuse that all into place if I had peeled the paper backings off. Then I will take it over to the sewing machine and do some outline stitching. Normally I do all of my outline stitching in black because I really like that cartoony outline look. But for this one, I'm going to demonstrate using still a contrasting color. So I'm going to outline the vine in green still, but it's going to be probably on this one, either a much darker or a much lighter shade of green so that the outline still shows up and adds definition the way a black outline would, but it's going to be shades of the flower. So I'm going to outline these flowers with a much darker blue, and I probably do a dark green on the stem, but I'm going to do that on all of the flowers, outlining in a much lighter or a much darker shade of the same color to give it a different look, so you can see, just experimenting and see what kind of outlining you want to use. But you can do that same color matching technique with any of the quilt patterns. I just thought that the flowers would be a good one to experiment with. So when I'm done with all of that outlining, I'll bring it back and show it to you, the finished block. And here's the block all finished. And as I mentioned, I did something a little bit different with the outlining this time. I did not, usually I outline stitch all of my blocks with just black thread. And I do really like the cartoony effect that gives. And I've done that with other versions of the Wildflowers and it works great. But for this one, I just wanted to show you an example that you can also use colored thread to outline the pieces. I'm not sure how much it shows up on the Morning Glory because this dark blue that I used might be showing up black or nearly black on your screens. So I've got a few other examples that I wanted to show you, but I outlined all of the pieces in a different shade of the color that of the fabric I used. So in this case, I used dark blue around these lighter blue, and I used a light green on top of this green. And then on this blue one, you can see it a little more clearly. This is a navy blue around this lighter blue middle, and then I used a very light blue on the darker blue flower petals. And then I used a dark green on the sides of that stem. And on this crocus, I used some darker purple around the purples. I particularly like how it shows up on the pink. So I used red around this darker pink, dark orange around the center, and then a darker hot pink on top of this lighter pink. And then I've got this very light stem with a darker green outline. And then I love this pink one also. So again, I used red on the darker pink and I used hot pink on the lighter pink. And then I used a darker green stitching around that green piece. So just a little something to play with when you do your outline stitching. You always have the option to do something different than what I do in the example. So again, my examples are almost always just black straight stitching, and I like to go around all the pieces 3 times to give it a little bit of a sketchy kind of look. I want it to look like a drawing from my sketchbook, but you can do once around with a thicker thread. You can do decorative stitching around it. You can do a different color. You've got a lot of different options, and I have tutorials at Shiny Happy World that show you a lot of those different details. But this is the first time that I've done this color on color, tone on tone color, and so I wanted to point that out for this pattern. So that is how you assemble the blocks for the Wild Flowers pattern. And again, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and I'll see you next time.